Yo. So you got, I guess this is a trend now with rappers saying F the streets. But on the outset, the outskirts, it sounds great. I would concur, when it come down to that, right? But my thing with these rap dudes is why now? One thing I learned, and I learned this through during the pandemic, right? When all these rappers was talking about getting the crypto, getting the stocks, and then they sunk the market. You feel me? I don't trust nothing rappers say, even if I agree. Because you gotta question their intent. It just looked like to me that these rappers, and not all of them, so Herbo said it, Lucci said it, Young Thug said it. I don't know what was Herbo reasoning, but when it come down to Lucci and Thug, it just looked like to me, that they just want to be able to do fuck nigga shit. You know what I mean? They want to detach themselves from the so-called streets and the rules of the streets, so they can move around as fuck. So they can move around as fuck boys. You know what I mean? I don't respect or need. I don't even understand how YF and Lucci and Young Thug is doing songs together. Even if you squash a beef, blood to been shed. We ain't doing no songs together. We ain't getting no money together. Morally, it's not right. For the people that lost their lives, to the family members that have been affected throughout this situation, it's not right. But when it come down to these rappers, they're so far removed, because they are removed. They can say, fuck the streets. But you ain't been in the streets in years, man. At least a lot of y'all. You know what I mean? And saying fuck the streets really holds no value. How about stop rapping gangster music? Bet they won't do that. I bet they saying fuck the streets, they ain't in the streets not paying them. So it's easy for them to say fuck the streets. How about fuck gangster rap? How about switch up your lyrics? That would be a sign of maturity and growth. They would be really saying something if they were like, you know what, I ain't rapping gangster music no more, man. I ain't talking about killing in my music. I ain't talking about robbing. I ain't talking about hustling. I ain't talking about nothing pertaining to the streets in my music no more. Now that would hit home. But them boys ain't gonna do that because that's what's paying them. The streets ain't paying them. You feel me? Them boys ain't selling no drugs. They ain't doing anything to survive. These guys are stable in their career. And we gotta be able to think for ourselves, y'all. Stop letting people think for us, man. I'm saying people praising them niggas in the comments for saying fuck the streets. After the streets done paid them. After they done got rich out the streets. Like, it's easy to do that, y'all. It's easy to move out the hood and then say fuck the hood when you out of it. But what about the people that's still in it? What about the people that's stuck in the streets? You know what I mean? A lot of people that's stuck in the streets also still feel like fuck the streets. But they don't know no other means to get money. Or their record is so bad that, it kind of handicap. I'm not saying you got to be stuck in it forever, but it does handicap you in a way. I'm just saying, I question these guys' intent. What's the reason, man? What do you want to be able to hang with rats and work with rats and what do you want to do? Because when it comes down to the streets, and the thing is, it's not even about the streets, but people put certain morals and principles on the streets, and it ain't about the streets. It's really about just being a man, being a decent human being. You understand? I don't deal with rats because a lot of rats steal, they lie, they rob, they kill. These are the rats. They deceitful. They manipulative. They selfish. And if you notice, everything I said ain't had nothing to do with the streets. Think about some of the rats y'all know and put in the comments on my line. Put in the comments on my line. I'm just saying, y'all, I don't praise these guys. I don't respect them for saying fuck the streets, because it's easy to say when you so far away from it. It's easy to say. It's almost like a situation where your homeboy or homegirl get in a fight and you be like, yo, if I was there, I would have did this. Yeah, it's easy to say, but you wasn't there, so you couldn't do that. You understand? But I just want to speak on that situation real quick, man, because I see what's going on. Look like it's calculated. I don't trust rappers. I question their intent, because it seems like to me, whenever a group of rappers get behind a cause, it never benefits the people. And saying fuck the streets doesn't benefit the people. You know, it's people that's making a lot of money in the streets. Now, you can say fuck drive-bys, you know, stop hurting innocent people. You know, that'll be a message. You know, that'll be something I can get behind. Yo, fuck all that drive-by shit, yo. Because at the end of the day, the streets ain't never gonna stop. Poverty is what creates the streets. Until America fix poverty, the streets is always gonna be a valuable option for some. And I'm out.